Shut up and sit down.
And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real option trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open so you can follow along. Have your YouTube video quality set as high as possible. That way you can read the numbers a whole lot easier. Have a calculator on hand so you can do some easy math. If you have a question or a stock you want to go over together, put it in the comment section below. We'll do that together live. And remember, this is not financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. All right, welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Let's check out our open positions. We don't have a lot going on right now because we've had so many positions close already this month. So we're just down to a couple. We had our EFA, that's the emerging market. Actually, not emerging market. It's a Europe, Asia, Australia, minus Canada and US ETF short call spread. We got it filled yesterday at 42. Right now, market's at 52, so down $10 or so. Not bad. Fine. We got time on that one. Semis are down today, so this one is making some moves. Our short call spread on the semi ETF, that's mostly down because of Intel. We'll go over Intel first today. And XBI, we rolled this one from January to February. We got February expiration coming up in a couple weeks. Hopefully this guy will get down below 85, okay? All right, cool. Let's look at Intel first. That's pretty much the biggest news of the day. Post earnings down 12%. Here's our chart. Earnings yesterday after the close. Goldman maintains sell on Intel. Interesting. Of all the semis, Intel is the weakest, but it's the biggest as far as, well, not biggest as in market cap, but it is big as in the sense of a lot of boomers probably own this thing. Where will we catch support? We're kind of at support right now. Next spot for support is around 40. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. This may be one of those where we hold for a bit, wait for some downgrades or something, but it may be too early to sell the put side. For March expiration, if you sold the 38, good liquidity here. Sell the 38. I don't know if you'd need to buy the spread. This is Intel. 38 is right about here. Not bad. I think what we'll do, like some of the other ones, let's wait a day or two, wait for this to bleed off. Okay. There is some support at 40 and 40, 50. Lots of possibility for bounces here, but let's hold on Intel till next week, okay? We'll put it on the list. INTC. Next up, let's look at AMD. AMD, I don't think has any news. It's just down because of Intel's bad report. So the semis are down in general. AMD's earnings are AMD's earnings are on the 30th, so we're gonna wait until after AMD's earnings. Let's see if we can make a move there. Right now we're 4 days away from earnings. Too early. You can see as far as volatility goes, the closer you get to January 26th expiration, volatility is higher and then it comes down across the curve here. So, all right. Let's wait for AMD. Hopefully they have some good news to the downside so we can sell some puts. All right, next up, let's look at Visa. We'll look at a couple of the credit cards today. Earnings were yesterday after the close. Outperform ratings, raising of price targets. Good news on the report. Looks like it gapped down. Already a little bit of buying. Let's see if there's anything we can do on the put side for March. You'd have to sell 255, but you don't really get paid for it. Good liquidity here. 255 on the chart. 255 is here, and considering this is March expiration and earnings are already past us, this seems very fair. I wish there was more of a pullback to say 261 or so, or 258, but not yet. Close but no cigar. Let's look at AXP. That's American Express. They're up big today after earnings. I think the call finished earlier this morning. All around good report. Looks like it's an all-time high. Yes. So, lower volatility than we'd like. Let's look at the call side. You'd have to sell 220, but liquidity's not here. The spread is 109, 130, not good. And the coverage you'd have to buy is the 230, and your spread is 1844. A little bit of volume here, but not enough to make things liquid enough. Let's move on. T-Mobile, TMUS. Post earnings, I believe. Yes, yesterday after the close. Deutsche Bank raises price target to 185. That's fair. Maintains buy. Here's our chart. And nearing an all-time high as well. So it gapped down this morning and has rallied back and looking to get another all-time high. I don't know if there's been anything to do here. Put side. Liquidity's okay. You see how we've read on both sides? That means post earnings the move wasn't strong enough to make it worth doing anything about. Call side you have to sell 175. I'd skip this one. Moving on. LHX, Harris Technologies. Earnings were yesterday after the close. Same thing. It's looking not like we don't have a big enough mover to make this worth it. And we have very low volume on both the put side and the call side. So it's going to make things very illiquid, harder to trade, harder to get in, harder to get out, and harder to roll. So let's stay away from this one. Next, we'll do Western Digital, WDC. Down 3.5% today. Earnings were yesterday. Maintains overweight at Fargo. Raymond James maintains outperform. They're going to do something on the put side here. Let's look at the chart. Wow, it had such a big run up. It's hard to sell the put side here, even though it is down 3.5%. Son of a gun. You'd have to sell the 52.5. Still a little bit of volatility here in this. It's okay. Where's 52.5 on the chart? Same thing. We've got red on the put side and red on the call side. That means that the movement after earnings wasn't big enough. That was priced in. So these are now cheaper today and cheaper today on both sides. Means you would have wanted to sell these yesterday. Okay. So 52.5 on the chart. Awfully close. For March expiration, this is awfully close. We gotta wait for a bigger pullback, okay? Then we can go in and sell the put side, but right now we're too early. Colgate Palmolive up 2% or so after their earnings. Overall, nothing terribly exciting about this one. Looks like IV's very low. Skip the put side, and we'll also skip the call side. Moving on. BAH, Bose, Allen. Earnings were today before the open, up 13%. That's great. Look at the chart here. Looks like we're at all-time highs as well. On the call side, to a liquid, you'd have to sell the 160 or the 155. These spreads are too wide. You'll never get them filled, okay? Skip. Norfolk Southern, what's there? NSC. So earnings for them were also before the open this morning. Looks like there's a bit of a drop, but nothing serious. All this would have been priced into the option market. Yeah, so gap down, already buying here. We got this ascending trend line, so that makes sense. Maybe a little bit too late to get on the put side, but if you did, you'd have to sell the 210, and we got a 30-cent spread here. Not worth it. Close, but no cigar on that one. Western Alliance, post earnings as well. Yesterday after the close, same thing. Looks like this one's going to be a nothing burger. Yeah, so hardly any movement after earnings. Yeah, we'll skip this one. No volume on the put side. We got a little bit on the 55 strike, but other than that, nothing. Call side a little bit at the 70, but no. Capital One, up almost 5%. Same story. We got earnings yesterday after the close. Here's our chart. Up and away, but we're not at all-time high, so resistance could be right here. We got a lot of resistance right around the 140. So it could sell the call side here. Be interesting. Missing liquidity. Everything was right about this one. I would have sold the call side had this been more liquid. You'd want to sell the 150 and buy the 155 or the 160. You just have 15-cent spreads on both of these, so the entire short call spread would be a 30-cent spread. That'd be really hard to fill and really hard to roll if we got into trouble. Okay, next up, Levi, up 2% today. However, this isn't earnings. I think they just announced a bunch of layoffs. So that's good for the stock price when a company announces layoffs. However, as you can see, very low volume, very illiquid. Both sides, put side and call side. We're going to skip this one. CRM, Salesforce, same story. I think they also announced some layoffs. Salesforce layoffs, latest to hit bleeding tech industry. Great. So earnings for them are on March the 6th, so we have well over a month till then. Cut 700 jobs. Not a lot of movement though. Barely up 1%. Volatility looks to be lowered as well. The blue line's low here. You've got very low IV rank. So I think we're just going to pass on this one right away. Spirit's an interesting one. It's been a ride on this one. So the news this morning, JetBlue warns that the merger may not meet its deadline and have to terminate it. So when this was announced a week or so ago, we looked at selling the puts and did have a pretty good bounce over the past couple days, but now with the announcement of the deal falling through, it's going back down. And this thing most likely is going to fall apart. If you want to sell the call side, you have to sell 10 and buy. You'd have to buy 12.5. So 54 minus 31. Let's do the math. 54 minus 31 divided by 2 divided by 250. Only 4.6% return on that call spread for the 10 and 12.5. Good liquidity here. Actually, wrong. The 10 has some good liquidity, but the 12.5 not so much. The spread is 28.42. That's really bad. The 15 has a little bit more liquidity, but you're not gonna get paid that much. On the put side, you'd have to sell the 2.5 straight out. You get paid $20. Just know that if this really does fall through, which it probably will, Spirit's on its way to bankruptcy. As this goes down, you'll get assigned, or you'll take the loss on the short put at 2.5. Okay? That's the risk. The reward is $20. I don't know if it's worth it. You're risking $20. You're risking $250 to get $20. Let's do the math. 20 divided by 250. That's 8%. I don't think it's worth it. Because ideally, you'd like to sell the put spread on here. Where's 250 on the chart? 250 is right here. And like I said, if this deal with JetBlue really does fall through, which it more than likely will, 250 is not going to stop. It's not going to stop at 250. It'll go way down. So that's the risk you're taking. Proceed with caution. I'm going to pass on this one. All right, let's do some follow-ups from earlier this week. Tesla. Looks like Tesla's bottoming out finally. You've got that trend line here. So we got this low channel, this low trend line. Close. We're really close here. Trying support from back here. Looks to be around 176 and then again at 166. So if we wanted to sell the put side here, if we went past 166, I'd be okay with that. And we are past earnings, so that's good. Put side, you need to sell 155. So that makes sense. It's past the 166. I want to sell the 155. Where's that on the chart? 155 is right about here, and that's for March expiration. Can it get there? Absolutely. Support for sure, yeah, around like 162. It's hard here. You've got support going back here at 167. We're close. If you guys want to sell puts, we're getting close. Definitely going to keep following up with this next week. If we can get a couple like downgrades or something, that would really help. Any news on downgrades? Well, JP Morgan lowers price target, maintains underweight. Interesting on underweight. Goldman's at neutral. If we could just get one downgrade on Monday, go ahead and sell. Go ahead and sell the puts. That's what I would do. But we're not there yet. We're like right on the razor's edge here. Next up, we still have Wayfair on the list. I think I'm going to take Wayfair off today. It's getting that bounce to the 200-day. Earnings on the 22nd. So at this point, we're getting a little close to earnings to do anything. And again, we have this ascending trend line here and descending trend line here. It's going to break out either to the upside or the downside. We just don't know yet. Pass. Netflix, NFLX. Ooh, wow. Day 3 after earnings. We're approaching some resistance from back here in September of 2021. And we also have resistance at here from December of 2021. So if you want to start selling call spreads, we've had big gap up after earnings and 1, 2, 3 up days in a row. What do you think? Earnings are until April 5th, 16th. At this point, we would have gotten all the upgrades out of the way, all the price target changes. So as you can see, there's still some volatility here. Let's look at the call side for March on Netflix. If you sold 630, sell 630. And buy 640. Let's do the math. $637. We'll do the 640 minus 497 divided by 2 divided by 1,000. That's a 7% return. Seems fair. $70 on a $1,000 spread. Liquidity's okay. It just looks wonko because it's a $570 stock, so liquidity is the gap is wider. Interesting. Where's 630 on the chart? 630 is right about here. Again, that seems fairly priced. If we go back here, 630, where we got? Right about here. So we got resistance here at 620, resistance at 580, and resistance at 570. So we could start getting a pullback any day now. Resistance all the way up to 643. I don't know. Let's do this one. Let's see if it gets filled. Like I said, it's very perfectly priced. We'll sell the 630 and buy the 640. 630, 640. Change this to 10. Six thirty, 640 is right here. Again, liquidity is not the greatest, but it's because it's such a large stock. That's why. So $1,000 spread here. You're risking $1,000 minus 165. We'll go with, okay. So we'll sell one March expiration, the 630 call, and buy one March expiration, the 640 call. We'll leave it at 165. Limit credit. Just be careful on the liquidity on this one. If it moves against us, it's going to be a pain, and you know what to roll. Preview this. Sell one Netflix 630 call to open, and buy one Netflix 640 call to open. Receive a credit of $165. So 165 divided by 2, that's 82 is what we're actually going to set the buy to closed order at. 82. So that'd be an 8.2% return. Everything looks good. We'll send that out. And it'll hang tight here. So if this does get filled, 165 divided by 2 is 82.5. So if this does get filled today, we will set a buy to close order, good till canceled, limit debit of $82, okay? All right, moving on. 3M. We need to get down to 91 for the bounce. Is it there yet? No. I think the move on this one has been made. I wanted to get down to 91 or so and then sell the puts, but it bounced earlier. It bounced back here from the support around 94 or so. So missed this one. Going to take 3M off the list. No longer following up on it. We're past all the upgrades and downgrades and all that stuff too. IWM, the Russell 2000, waiting for get to 210, and we'll sell a call spread around 210. Not there yet today. Looks pretty much flat. Like I said, a lot of resistance here around the 210 from starting at March of 2021 all the way to December of 2021. So we'll keep an eye on it. Today's not the day. Win. It's on the list following up. Don't know why. Call side, maybe selling the call side as it approaches the 200 day. Earnings for Win are the 7th. That's too close, my friend. Let's take Win off the list. We'll wait till after earnings. If there's an interesting move after earnings, we'll go ahead and do something then. As of right now, with February 7th earnings coming up, we're too close. Okay? Moving on. NOC, Northrop. This was a holdover from yesterday. Downgraded. Today's the 26th, so we got a downgrade today from RBC. Price cut to 450. That seems fair. Anybody else? Okay, so we had earnings yesterday, had a downgrade today. Volatility is still a little bit heightened here. Let's look at the put side for March. You'd have to go out and sell the 405. But actually, we're going to take this one off the list, even though it makes sense here. Very low volume, very wide spreads here. Let's pass on this one. Take Northrop off the list. Okie dokie, let's go to our IV rank scanner. We'll sort by volume, see if there's anything of interest here on this Friday after a long week of earnings. We've got NVIDIA on the 21st, AMD on the 30th, IWM we already looked at, Amazon's coming up, Marathon, Apple on the 1st. American Airlines is still on this list, even though we're post earnings. I think it's too small of a stock, though. It's a $15 stock. It's probably down today in solidarity with Spirit Airlines. Coinbase on the 15th, Spirit down, big time. PayPal's on the 7th, that'll be a fun one. Boeing has their earnings next week as well. We'll see if we can get some updates on all their failures as a company. Microsoft on the 30th, Meta, IBM. IBM we had a couple days ago, but still showing IV rank of 56. Let's take a look at IBM. Yeah, it's big spike in volatility. I wish we sold the call side yesterday. That would have been smart. Where was resistance? We had to look at the weekly on this one. Resistance is at... Or right at resistance. Maybe we could still sneak in and sell the call side. Maybe we missed it. Call side for March, you'd have to sell the 200 and buy the 205. What do you get? 200 is 142 minus 87 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.5%. 200 is a little close. Where's 200 on the chart? 200's right here. No way in hell. That's really close for March expiration. Pass. That's one of the things where you would have wanted to sell the call spread yesterday. Baba. Earnings on the 7th. Palantir's coming up. FXI, we still got China on this list. I'm going to pass. Pfizer's coming up. Affirm. Digital World Acquisition still on the list. Up 8% today. Rivian. Upstart on the 13th. Ford, no. SMCI. Let's go to next page here. XBI, we're still stuck in this one. Cisco has earnings coming up. SMH, we're in this one right now. We have, what, the 200, 205? Let's take a look. SMH, 200, 205. So open this one on what day? The 18th, I think. Yeah, open this one. The short call spread on the 18th here. It's moved against us, but coming back. Both yesterday it sold off big and down today because of Intel. Strikes are the 200, 205. So we got some wiggle room here. And it is, what do we got? March expiration. So we got a lot of time till March expiration too. But green today. We'll see what happens. A new position today. You'd want to sell the 20. Yeah, sell the 205 by the 210. What do you get there? 235 minus 145 divided by 2 divided by 509%. Holy smokes, $45. To be fair, the 205 strike is a little close, but the 210 is too far out, so you'd have to take the 205 to sell. Put side, I wouldn't sell the put side yet. We need a bigger move down first. You'd have to go all the way out to 172. $172 is right here. That seems fairly priced as well. There you go. What else we got? Snapchat's earnings. CCJ's got earnings. Walgreens, nope. Disney's coming up with their earnings too. That'll be fun. Snowflake. Their earnings have to be coming up. November, December, January, February. February maybe. Never mind. Shopify on the 13th. Airbnb. Let's take a look. They must have earnings coming up. Airbnb. Earnings are February 20th. We're less than a month away. Looks like we got low volatility here, though. What do we got on the put side? Good liquidity. Actually, okay liquidity. Skip on this one. JD, no. Walmart's on the 20th. Roku. We must have Roku earnings coming up soon. Let's check it out. Traded Roku a bunch before. Earnings are in February. So not yet. Too close. Less than a month till earnings. Let's skip Roku. Caterpillar. Earnings. A couple more, then we'll call it for today. Uber. See, we've got just a lot of earnings coming up. That's the hard part. Roblox. Starbucks on the 30th. DraftKings. Earnings. Just a bunch of earnings. Chewy. Let's check out Chewy, and then we'll call it for today. Do a short Friday. Plus, I got my CEO calling me. Goldman Sachs maintains buy. Nothing, no news here. Low volatility. IV rank at 31. Put side maybe here. Let's take a look. Nah, you'd have to sell the 15. Call side, you'd have to sell 25 and buy 30. You're not going to be worth it though. All right, I think that'll do it for today. We'll do a short day today since it's Friday, but we had a great week. A lot of positions closed. We're down to only three open positions. That's very low for us. So we'll see if we can make a lot more trades next week. Get this back up to maybe 6 to 10 open positions. That's more reasonable. But so far, like I said, it's been a great January. So no complaints there. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Tune in every morning at 7:15 a.m. on the West Coast, 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. We go live every morning trading options. Also tell your friends who are trading options to like, subscribe as well. And we'll all trade options together. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see everybody back here on Monday morning.